So guys, recently I purchased a used Camp Chef pellet smoker off of Facebook, and I gotta be honest with you. I got a little scam. Not a big scam, a little scam. I got scammed. I mean, I don't know where the line is like between being a lie or a scammer or just kind of a douche. But we're certainly in douchey territory here, because what I thought I was buying and what we had discussed, I thought I was buying a very, very well used but otherwise functioning properly pellet grill. So essentially I was willing to do a lot of work to clean it up, but that's it. And he led me to believe that the grill was functioning better and newer than it actually ended up being, as you'll see. And I'll have more thoughts on this later. Well, I kind of think he knew what he was doing. I went to pick up this pellet grill, and I noticed right away that the paint was not nearly in as good a condition as it looked like in the Facebook ad. But that's all right, that's still cosmetics. The guy was friendly, just guarded. I don't know, I have a sixth sense in people, and I knew something was up, but what I figured was, let's fire this puppy up, let's get it running, and if it's running, then I know there's no auger jam, there's no broken auger, there's no like fan problem, the hot rod works, the controller works. Generally, like if we can get this thing up and running, whatever his issue is, doesn't affect me, right? I didn't want to like run it up to 400 degrees just to make sure it would. Foreshadowing. Instead, I wanted to go home, get my family home. It was Easter Sunday. My wife was being a trooper. So once I saw it running, got up to 225, I was, yeah, shut it down, we'll take it, thanks. Paid the guy and left. And I got home, and I started to realize what I was up against. Ugh. This is disgusting. So she's not pretty. Initially, I started testing it, and I tested the sidekick, and I was able to get fire. Look at that. Well, that's a good sign. It's a good start. Then I turned myself to look at some of the pellet grill features. So that's my goal for today. I'm gonna run some tests and just basically see if it, oh, there's the chimney. Check that out. I turned this over and all of that just fell out. It's so disgusting. Years of funk, and there's grease built up here. So in order to test the pellet grill, I'm kind of in a catch-22 here, right? I don't want to clean up the grill until I know it works, but I don't want to like test it without cleaning it up and causing more problems. So I just take and I put that chimney back on the back of the grill, and gunk just comes out of it like coffee grounds all over the patio. That's all gunk from the chimney. That is so disgusting. And in the process of putting it back on the cooker, I realized the chimney itself, where it attaches, is warped. That's creating a grease leak down the back of the cooker, and the gasket's shot. So it's filthy, it's shot, it's warped, it needs a gasket. I might as well just buy a new one off Amazon. And if I'm gonna buy a new chimney, if I'm spending money, I might as well buy a new, less funky grease bucket. But I'm sure that's all I'm gonna need. Ha! 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 Here it is. I mean, the paint is thrashed, obviously. There's some surface rust down here. It does have the sidekick. Griddle's gonna need some work. Obviously this is gonna need to be replaced. There's some sort of leak there. I mean, it's dirty. I don't know, we'll see. I hope I didn't bite off more than I could chew. Despite my wavering confidence in the exterior condition of the cooker, I was totally confident the mechanics were gonna run perfectly. No fire. So at this point, I decided I'm just gonna run my own test. I cleaned out the fire pot, I cleaned off the deflector, the grease pan. This is where the fun started. This pit, y'all, it's a mess. I'm hoping the bones are good. I think they are, but I mean, it's just so dirty. And so anyways, what I want to do, honestly, is before I put any time and money cleaning it, I want to make sure everything is working on it, or at least know what I'm gonna have to fix. So I've got a checklist here of things. I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna make sure the computer, the auger, the fan, the temp probe, the hot rod,
all of that is working before, like I said, before I go in and really start to clean this out. Because if it doesn't work, or it's going to cost too much money to get it running, I don't want to waste time cleaning it.
Oh, I had plans. I had dreams. I had a whole series of tests I was gonna run.
I want to see how long it takes for the pellets to light, how long it takes to get to 275, which is my personal smoking temp, and then to 350, which is that's the highest I would ever go in this pit anyways.
I had probes.
One probe hooked up to the temperature probe on the pit, and therefore I can tell what what the pit thinks the temperature is on the controller, and then what it actually is by putting this probe from the ThermoWorks smoke right next to it. And then I also want to know what the temperature is where the food is, and then I'll come back and tell you what I found.
I mean, it was a great plan, right? Logical, dare I say, thorough. Everything started out great. Little did I know. It's gonna suck.
All right, we got the timer running, the controller's working. I can see that looks like it's blinking. It's not in real life. That's just because I'm filming it. That's a camera thing. The lid is up. I can see the computer working. I can hear the auger, and I can hear the fan. So we have pellets going into the firebox right now. So as of right now, things are working as good as we could hope for. So I'm just gonna sit back and take some measurements and see how long it takes for this thing to do everything it does. Hopefully there's no problems.
And there weren't any problems.
There is smoke coming out of like all corners of this pit, but not out of that chimney.
Well, except that one, and about a million more.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and call an audible and shut this one down. I looked this over and it really did look okay to me. It looked safe to use, but what I didn't anticipate was there's just no smoke coming up through the chamber, right? All the smoke that's coming out is coming out the bottom, and it's not coming out the stack. It's not coming out under the lid, and you can see where this is where it used to come out. And often with these, it'll come out the bottom of the lid. It's not even making it into the cook chamber. So I'm gonna shut it down. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. I'm gonna clean it up, and I'm gonna come back and I'll do this test again. But this is why I did it. I mean, this is not a fail.
It's kind of a fail.
Better safe than sorry. I mean, I know this is mostly working, so I haven't had any really weird noises. It hasn't burned down my house, so we're good there. So here's the weird thing. Just as soon we went through the full shutdown cycle, right? And just as soon as that kicked off, all of a sudden started getting smoke out of the stack. So the stack's not clogged. That's not the problem. Went ahead and dumped the pellets just in case I'm getting a burn back. I'm really curious about what's going on in that auger tube. Something about when the fan is on, it was pushing air, directing it out of the pit through the bottom. So something's blocked. That's not what I wanted to find out. So, I got some thinking to do, but most likely tomorrow, after a good night's rest, I'll probably feel like taking it apart and just see what's going on. All right, guys, I took this thing apart and really looked at it. I didn't see anything that was obviously a problem. So what I did was I ran all the pellets through the auger, vacuumed that out, took a leaf blower and blew out all the pellet dust that was in the system. If you're ever wondering the fastest way to clean out a pellet grill, it's also the funnest way. It's also a good idea to wear a mask, which I was not. All right, this is what it looks like after that brief cleanup, and I put new pellets in right here. I'm running the feed cycle right here. So when it comes time to start it, I'm just gonna watch it and make sure it lights okay before I put everything back together. And I'll bring you back when things either work or don't work. All right, we have a fire, which is what we wanted. So I'm gonna go ahead and Does it seem like it's burning on one side there? Kind of feels like it's burning on one side. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back together, and yeah, we'll go from there. All right, now we're cooking. Get it? All right, good news, guys. It's working. It is working. Got it heated up. Smoke's coming out of the stack instead of out of the bottom. That's awesome. I think we're good to go. So I'm gonna play with it for a little while longer. I'm gonna see how it holds temps at 275 and 350, because those are the temps that I use the most. But it's looking good. It's behaving exactly like I'd expect. So it's still not working. So last night I ran a few more tests. I ran it in smoke mode. It worked great. I ran it at 275 for a little over an hour. It was perfect. And then I cranked it up to 350 because, again, that's like the temp I use for chicken. And the first thing I noticed was it wasn't coming up to 350. It stopped at 300 according to the computer, the controller. But it wasn't even trying to go up. And before this, it had been very responsive. I could hear that the auger wasn't turning. So I waited, and after about 30 minutes, I guess, all of a sudden, it goes from 300 to 360. And then a second later, it was 340. And a second later, it was 280. And a second later, it was 315. And then it just massive swings, but it wasn't. It was obviously a measurement error. I hope. So I bought a new probe. I'm gonna try to stick that in there today. Hope that's it. If that's not that, then I guess the only thing left is the computer or the controller. But first things first, I'm gonna swap out this probe, see if we can get it working, and then we're gonna run some more tests. Alright guys, so I lost some footage, so for the rest of this montage, you're just gonna have to imagine using these visual aids. So this is a pellet grill, and in no way resembles a buffalo. The idea behind the string is you pull the string through the buffalo, and then take off the old thermometer wire, and then tie on the new one. And then as you tape this down, you can pull this back through the grill, the buffalo, and it'll come back out over here. So that worked. It didn't work great, but it worked better than nothing. And ultimately, how I was able to get the business end of the new thermometer back through the grill. So that's, just imagine that in this spot in the montage. Dun, 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 dun. All right guys, got the thermometer fixed. That seems to be the problem. It took a lot longer than I expected. Probably took me about an hour. I think I'm probably doing about half that now, but the hopper and the main body are way too close together. So it's really hard to work the thermometer plug all the way back through to the controller. My son helps a lot, so that was good. So it's running great now. No weird temperature changes or readings or anything like that, so that makes me feel good. I kind of just wanted to make sure it would run right before I spent any more time and money on it. So in the next video, we're going to clean this up really good and make it look presentable, and we'll see where it goes from there. I think this series is going to be a lot of fun. I hope you stick around for it. Please subscribe. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.